Hello, hello, people. Hello, hello. Let's see. There we go. I am here. Are you guys here? Dun, 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 dun. Let's see here. Make sure that I have everything up. And double checking sound. Sound seems somewhat decent. Let's see. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah. My headphones looking for a Bluetooth connection. Can't find it. Turns off the Bluetooth. Because I can have multiple connections. How are people doing this nice Sunday? Do. Let's see, can I make you a little bit smaller? Yeah, okay. Boom. There we go. The audio and video is super out of sync for me. That's weird. Let me double check. So there is no weird weirdness with the sound. Advanced. No sync offset. No nothing. Audio and video is super out of sync for you still. And that is even if you like reload the page or anything like that. Just making sure that I don't start messing. Reloaded several times. Okay. And it's still out of sync, so my mouth moves, but my sound comes later. Is it that my mouth moves first and then the sound comes? Or is it that the sound comes first and then my mouth moves? Video first, then the sounds. Okay, by how much? Is it like a second, 2 seconds? Because I'm gonna make the sync offset then just to fix it. 10, 20 seconds later. Damn. That is bad. Yeah, I kind of want to save it for myself, how bad it is. So you come over here and I'll just turn off the camera, or well, I need to see you speak so I can see how much you're moving and stuff. So you're gonna have to be on camera a little bit.
Hello, stream. How you doing? Oh, interesting setup you have here. How long does it take for the chat to show up? I don't know. But yes, I am not Jack Blade. Hi. Woo! Jesus. The arm of your chair is very scary. Yeah, so the delay is super, super long. It was really weird. I was reloading several times. And I was like, oh, maybe it's on my end, but no, it is not. Here he comes back.
Yes. That's weird. That's really weird. Do we have other people in chat that I can verify that it's like a universal thing? Let me do this. Yes, I'm talking with you. I stole your voice. This is super weird. Let's check that there's nothing weird in the settings with the mic. No. That seems to be doing well. Then let's double check. Can you check that it is like if the offset is there on Twitch too? Just check. Yeah, it's bad there too. Blah, 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 blah. It's always fun when this stuff happens, right? Okay. Let's see. Stream settings, close competitions, blah blah blah, blah. And all of that is on. Stream latency is set to ultra low. There is like it's weird. Why is that desync happening? Because I'm looking at the sound here as well. Let me just do a little bit of a sound check here. You won't be able to hear this, but I'll be speaking. Oh, that's not the one that I wanted to click on. I want to click on this. Hello, 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 hello. That is interesting. Did my... There. Yeah, okay, it's off here as well. That is weird. Okay. Let's do this. I'm looking at myself. Looking at myself, 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 looking at myself. Gonna unmute myself. Yeah, it's not about the hearing. Like I've turned off the media sound, so you guys shouldn't be able to hear the like media sounds right now. But I'm gonna hear myself talking, and I wanna like change the offset. I'm gonna turn it down. $10,000 milliseconds forwards. Okay, if I just... The infinity is messing with me. Okay, I'm just gonna move this off screen then. So you guys can't see that. I'm just gonna see. Okay, here's the test. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Honestly, this is creepy. 17 seconds-ish for me. There, we try now. Okay, that's like 20 seconds, and it doesn't give a crap that I'm not... Okay. What if I do... There, and I speak. And if I speak now, how... Okay, now it's caught up. Let's see if I speak, is it fixed? And if I speak now, is it fixed? If I try to change it from... Blah blah blah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If it works now, it's in sync. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Eh. You mean, un sync? You wish you were NSYNC. Crap, yeah, then I'd have a career. Or at least one that can pay all the bills and everything, because I would just be making music. Alright. So let's just do this. So now that we have synced sound, let's go with, then I'd have the money. Yeah, but if I can make the kind of music they're making is like super mainstream, you can like sing any song and cover it. Yeah, then I can make like 5,000 songs and I win, yay. Alright, there we go. Stream is up and running. How are you doing, Let's Build? Welcome to chat. Both ways work, yeah. Now, this stream, welcome. It's a Sunday. We're just chilling. We're just hanging out. You're going back to your series? Good luck. We'll be reacting to a couple of YouTube videos that I found. Nice YouTube videos. And I need you guys in chat to tell me, hey, volume is super high, super low. Tell me when it's like you're being killed by the volume and when it's all fine. We will start by looking at one that I found that was really fascinating, called The Strange Psychology of Work Games, by the channel A Sword Bear. I will be posting the link in chat to their video, so I'll be skipping over a little bit of stuff here, but if you want to watch the full thing, check it out. Link there. So tell me if sound is too big.
Hey. What's up, boss? Got some bad news. Gotta let you go. What? Wait, why? Okay, where do I start? The 45-minute coffee breaks? I drink a lot of coffee. What about the 45-minute bathroom breaks? I drink a lot of coffee. There's your outfit choices. What's wrong with this? And then there's the 2,000 stolen paper clips. I had to reset the smoke detectors. Plus the gaming at work. Yeah. Get your things
That's
together.
why you make work
HR will be
gaming.
over in a bit to do the exit interview. What? What's this? I've noticed a trend with video games in the last 5 to 10 years. I've always understood gaming to be an escape, a way to...
I just want to be clear very early on here. This guy is making content as if he had like 5 million subs. Like, he has the production value, he has the setup, he has like the sound quality, the video quality, like everything here screams like high level production, something I do not have access to.
Relax and explore new impossible worlds and be someone you never could be in reality. So why the hell do I keep playing games that are just jobs? What changed? It used to be that the only...
I'm gonna give my 2 cents to this at the end, just so you know.
Work in gaming was putting in 40 hours a day, hustling at the Grand Exchange, selling lobsters like a real entrepreneur. But now, fast forward to 2024, and a game where you work the actual job of stocking shelves at a trading card store is one of the top selling games on Steam globally. And I can't stop playing it. So,
Trading card games are just
doing
good.
what I normally
All
do
of
when
them.
I play these games, I wanted to avoid doing actual work and instead explore why it is that we love work games so much. So sit back, relax, hit the subscribe button, please, and join me as
Yeah, that's a good idea. I haven't done that, so
we
okay.
explore
There we
the
go.
great wide world of work in
I've subscribed. Now you also have to go subscribe.
gaming.
We can get a like
To
too.
help us better explore this rather large genre of gaming, I've taken the liberty of coining smaller subgenres and breaking things down that way. We have
Okay. We're gonna go on a little bit of a journey, a little bit of a tangent. What is genres? Where do they come from? Where do they go? Where do they come from? Cotton Eye Joe. No, honestly, where do genres come from? What's your 10 cents? If you're in chat, give me your 10 cents on where genres came from. Once again, I'll be bringing some stuff up later on in the video. We're just going through the intro here so that everyone's on board with what this video is about.
have productivity engines, satisfiers or brain ticklers, simulators, and real fake jobs. Together, these 4 categories
Lethal Company is not a real fake job. That's just death. That is just comedy in game format. It is it's a callback to when games were less serious.
Stories make up what I like to call job games, an acronym for joy over productivity. Each
Productivity.
subgenre, I feel
Barney Stinson was here. That's not work game. That's like multiplayer horror fun game. Yeah, but remember, like, if you think back to like the split screen games where you could like mess each other up in like arena shooters and stuff like that, and just play around and glitch each other out. And like if you were playing like co-op Halo, like if you had played, like me, my brother, and our friends when we did this, but like we were playing co-op, and you just start getting bored and you start like just shooting each other. Like tell someone, yeah, you just get in the Banshee, and then you just plasma bomb them before they get there. Like that's just fun. And Lethal Company has that same kind of fun to it.
feel represents something about the psychology that goes into why these types of games have become so wildly popular, and why our escapism has led us nearly full circle back to the real world. So let's get started with... We'll start with productivity engines because these are the genre.
Productivity engines, like we're talking about Satisfactory and stuff like that. Factorio. Here's the thing though. Let's see, where was that? We're gonna get... I think it's over here.
Or anything. Are games where the sole objective is to automate and optimize to make numbers bigger. You typically...
Numbers bigger is dopamine bigger.
Start with a simple resource, and your goal is to extract it in order to complete an objective. From there, you might learn how to refine that resource, which unlocks more complex features and more complex objectives, which then in turn pushes you to optimize and redesign your old setup so that you can get more complex resources for more complex features and more complex objectives. And that loop pretty much just goes on infinitely as the game gets more and more complex.
That's the good, by the way. That's the good part. That's the good shit. That's the drug. That's what hooks you.
Kind of like computer programming, but as a video game. A good example of this in its most basic form is the game Shapes. Your goal in Shapes is to deliver the required shape to a hub in the middle of the play area via assembly lines. You start by extracting circles. From there, you unlock cutting and are asked to create semicircles. Then squares are unlocked, followed by half squares. You learn how to rotate shapes and then combine them, paint them, mix paints, stack shapes, and so on. Each step builds on the previous, and you probably spend more time reworking your old setups with new upgrades than anything else.
Okay, so that's what he talks about productivity engines. Let's look at satisfiers. This video, let's see, came out 4 weeks ago. But it might have been, like, remember, like, when we make videos, like, I have, I think, 2 or 3 videos that I recorded in, like, one of them I recorded just after New Year's, one of them I recorded after, like, back in October. I have 2 videos that I completely scrapped as well. But essentially, sometimes we just record videos, but the timing in the YouTube algorithm, the attention market that is the internet, it just doesn't make sense to release it, right? So the best thing to do is looking at, like, when is this, like, search term spiking and stuff like that for certain things. For example, take Satisfactory. Just Satisfactory gameplay is always at the same level of popularity. But if you take, like, Satisfactory drone port fuel efficiency, okay, then make a video about Satisfactory drone ports and fuel efficiency, so that you can put that in the title, you can put that in the description and stuff like that, because then you're in the window of popularity that will boost the video and your channel. Like, that's basically what a lot of channels do to grow, and it might have been the same here. So this might have been released or recorded before Shapes 2 came out, or this person is just not immersed in the genre, so they don't play Shapes 2.
Well, that or raging at the game when you don't have enough space to build what you actually want to. My other favorite productivity engine, Satisfactory, works similarly, but adds the twist of being a 3D exploration game with a map to explore.
The best one. The best Gib.
And aliens to hunt and power to manage and coffee to sip and decorations to decorate with. But under the hood, it's the same idea.
I think that Satisfactory has one major difference to other factory games. I'm writing a long-ass script about a video that talks about specifically why I think Satisfactory stands out from other factory games. We'll get into that a little bit later.
Automate to get bigger. So what makes games like this so fun? What draws us to becoming these spreadsheet mega dorks instead of slaying dragons and becoming space marines? These games are basically the equivalent of an industrial engineering desk job, and yet...
Yes. Okay, let's look at satisfiers.
On the topic of dopamine rewards, let's talk about satisfiers. These games do exactly what the name implies. They provide immense amounts of satisfaction. Their gameplay is often simple and repetitive, but that's fine because the objective isn't meant to be difficult. It's meant to be easy, rewarding, and scratch that itch in your brain that makes you feel all warm and tingly inside as you complete the little chores that they give you. These games aren't as uniform in their gameplay as productivity engines. I'd consider something like Unpacking, a game all about unpacking boxes and setting up a new apartment over and over and over again in this category, as well as something like Power Wash Sim. Speaking of which, Power Wash Sim is the king of this genre in my opinion. Go ahead and guess what the game's about. I'll wait. Yep. You power wash some of the most disgusting homes on the planet until they're sparkling clean. Besides some efficiency ratings and suggested techniques that...
So that's a quite easy one. Okay, simulators. Let's look at what he considers simulators.
Simulators. You've probably seen a million of these things on your gaming eShop of choice because the library of insert thing here simulator games is vast. Here's a rapid fire list of just a few results I get when I search for simulators on Steam. Euro Truck Simulator, American Truck Simulator, Farming Simulator, TCG Card Shop Simulator, Microsoft Flight Simulator, Supermarket Simulator, Storage Hunter Simulator, Gunsmith Simulator, Lawnmower Simulator, Shower with Your Dad Simulator, Construction Simulator, Surgeon Simulator, Recycling Simulator, Gas Station Simulator, Ship Brave.
We get the point. Take a breath. Take a breath.
Yard Simulator 2, Ranch Simulator, Cooking Simulator, and even the VR game Job Simulator. That's just some of the results, and only the ones that include simulator in the title, not other more uniquely named.
I think the Power Wash Simulator is, of course, a simulator, but I think that he probably places it more squarely within the satisfier because of the effect it has on you as the player. So I think that he categorizes them more based on what the result has on your brain, rather than anything. Like, for example, with his categorization for the what did he call them? Productivity engines. I would put a game like Path of Exiles 2 in the productivity engines. Honestly, I would. Because that game is literally doing exactly that. Like, you are constantly setting up and creating more and more advanced production systems meant to help you get the currency and the resources required to become a little bit more efficient, so you can get access to a little bit more powerful and more advanced resources, and then that cycle continues endlessly. And then when you're done with one factory, aka one character, you start your next character and start building your next factory. And you keep going so that you can have access to new things and new things and new things and new things and over and over and over again. So Path of Exile 2, with their categorization, I think would fit into a productivity engine rather, like based on that categorization rather than the genre of ARPGs.
Named ones like House Flipper, Supermarket Together, Hard Space Shipbreaker, Arcade Paradise, Viscera Cleanup Detail. I could go on. I will admit, some of these are a bit more tongue-in-cheek than others, like Surgeon Simulator, for example. I'd be a bit concerned if real surgery worked like this. Doctor, the patient needs a heart transplant. Stat.
Gore warning.
All right, give me the saw.
You don't want to wash your hands?
Why would I do that?
No gloves?
We have a man bleeding out on the table here. You think I have time for gloves?
Okay, just
I love the man's commitment to the bit. Like he's gone full in with the scrubs he's wearing. Like those aren't normal like nitrile gloves either. Those are like proper gloves.
Now, remove this.
Now, get rid of this pesky sternum.
Okay.
Oh, these organs too. Yucky.
Ew, we have to put those back.
5-second rule. Now, hard. Another successful day of saving lives.
Comedic entries aside, though, these games are
That would 100% be me as a surgeon. 100%.
essentially just simplified versions of the real jobs that they're trying to simulate. Your objective is typically to earn money and grow your business, but along the way, you're doing the standard duties of the job, which are often pretty menial and repetitive. So why play a game that's literally just virtual work? Well, similar to Satisfiers, there's a certain comfort to repetition, but beyond that, there's also a certain appeal of being able to do a job that you have no familiarity with and zero risk of actual failure, especially if you get to learn a bit more about the job. Can I get paid for these? Can I put these on my resume? No, you don't, and go for it. I can't stop you. Real fake.
Put whatever you need on your resume. As long as you are not breaking the law in any way, shape, or form, as in putting stuff on your resume that is like protected titles and stuff like that. I am of the opinion that you say whatever you want on your resume, you say whatever you want in your cover letter, you say whatever you want in your interviews to get the job, and once you get the job, just make sure that you can do the job. There's literally no law that says that you can't put your best friend or a family member as a reference to your past job and like just give them a script to go off of. There's no law against that. It's a different thing if you're trying to get in as a surgeon and you're pretending to be a fully trained surgeon and trying to work as a surgeon. That's illegal. Don't do that. If you're trying to flip burgers at McDonald's, go for it. If you're trying to get into work as a copywriter, go for it. If you're trying to, like, whatever it is, as long as it's not endangering anyone, not harming anyone, do what you need to get a job.
Big jobs are a unique category of work games because they're basically satire, but still have you doing work in some capacity. They'll mock corporate work culture, invent ridiculous career paths, and ask you to take them seriously, and gamify daily job duties to make them fun and competitive. They're not work games, they're games about work. And honestly, these are some of the most fun games that I'll talk about in this video.
I'm gonna skip this part, and we're gonna go straight to the final thoughts.
Sometimes.
So what did we learn?
What takeaways do I have from this whole thing? Well, for starters, work games make us feel in control and productive. They give us something to chase without that risk of failure that comes from a real job. And they let us take things at our own pace in an environment that's comfortable and accommodating to us. And above all else, they let us have fun while working. They let us control the stress, set the benchmarks, and they don't take things too seriously. And in a world already so full of stress and corporate shenanigans, it's nice to just poke fun at that and feel in control. It's really cool watching this genre of games evolve, and if recent releases are any indication, I think the era of really creative, funny, and innovative work games is just getting started. I know I barely scratched the surface when it comes to work games as well, so let me know in the comments if you have a favorite work game that I didn't mention. And let me know if there's a type of video that you want me to do next. I'm kind of just experimenting with ideas right now and really want to up my output in the new year, so you might see a lot of different formats from me moving forward, but this one was really fun to put together. I also stream over on Twitch and have an awesome community full of really friendly people, so if you ever want to chat more about gaming, consider catching me over there. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching this video. Consider hit the
like button, subscribe, do all the things if you watch the video. If you want to watch the full thing, like link in the description. I'm gonna put it there again so you guys can save that link if you want to. Now, I'm gonna give my 2 cents. Number 1, games are designed with guaranteed success in mind. One of the big things that we get taught growing up in like the Western world a lot, but even more so, like to a terrifying degree, in South Asian and East Asian countries. It is horrifying to hear some of the stories from people that I've gotten to know about how unacceptable failure is. And to quote Master Sifu from Kung Fu Panda, if we only ever do what we're good at, we will never get better at anything. And how do we get better? We fail. We screw up. We miss deadlines. We misspell. We format wrong. We sent a mail. Hello, Desert Wolves. Welcome. Yeah, we're talking about strange psychology of work games. Do you have a work game that you've played a lot of, like Power Washer Simulator, Satisfactory, Factorio, or Cracktorio? Anything like that? But yeah, we're basically conditioned that the worst thing you can do as an adult is fail at something. And fail at something is like making a mistake. And failing, and it's a completely warped mentality. Most recent would be House Flipper, yeah. I haven't played House Flipper, but we have Hometopia. I mean, I have a pile of experience from last year. Yes. Something that has happened with like workplaces in recent times, where the movement is starting to move towards that, because a lot of millennials are ending up in leadership positions now. One, we have started to get a bit more of a acceptable or accepting atmosphere in jobs where you can fail and make mistakes and screw up, and you don't get fired for it, you don't get bullied, you don't get abused or retaliated against by colleagues. You work in the games industry, so like I would love to hear your take, because like this is I'm on the consumer side of that industry, right? I am the gamer, you are the game developer, so you have a different level of insight, and I love hearing this from game developers. But yeah, like we are mostly ingrained with the whole thing that if you fail, you are worthless. That's Wednesday. If we watch again, yeah, I wanna hear them. We're gonna talk, man. If we watch again, I will be there. If Grugy and Debbie are streaming, we will be watching. But yeah, the whole thing with failure is somehow if you make a mistake, you have failed. That equivalence doesn't make any sense. Yeah. That has been the case when we met them as well. Like the baby decides everything, but that makes sense. The baby is the boss baby. But the concept of failure and a mistake being the same thing is not really the case. You can fail in two ways, like on a philosophical level. You fail in two ways. One, you fail when you give up. Two, you fail if you didn't learn from your mistakes. Those are the two, depending on context, situations where you can fail. And sometimes giving up is the way that you move on. It's the thing that you needed to learn. So it's not always that giving up is the failure. So yeah. Last year was a bucket of cold water for me personally. Well, last year and a half. Yes. People in the games industry in general has had I think, like, especially the people not working in management, I think the people working on the floor, I think the actual developers making the game, I think the team leads of those people, I think that the people that just gets the command from on high, those people have had probably in the gaming industry, like in a lot of industries, but the gaming industry has had that really, really badly for the last like a year and a half, 2 years, I would say. It's been really bad. And also, I think that because we've had some real bangers with games like Helldivers, with Baldur's Gate, and Satisfactory, and Factorio, we've had now Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 came out. My trouble's on 90% unrelated to work. Yeah, like just the context of what we're talking about is like, if I can I hide? I'm gonna hide there. Strange psychology of work games. But yeah, like the thing is with when you're in a work game like Satisfactory, Factorio, Power Wash Simulator, trading card simulator, like whatever you're playing, there is an inevitability of success, which means that you don't have to fear failing, and which is also one of the things where I think people are getting caught up in games they no longer enjoy anymore. They don't move on because they feel like they can't, because they're so afraid of failing in the terms of giving up that they keep playing games they don't enjoy. I have 3,800 hours in Stellaris. Currently, I don't enjoy that as much as the other games that I play. So, I don't play it as much. If something comes up, specifically when I can play with people, if I can play with others, Stellaris is fun, then I can play Stellaris. But I have done Stellaris to death in single player. World of Warships is my lonely game. Yeah, I play a lot of Path of Exiles too. I love that game right now. But I'm also feeling that I'm hitting a point where I have run out of content. It's not as fun anymore. I am just doing the same song and dance every time I log in. That's not as fun. And then the second part that I wanted to touch on with why work games. I wanted to drop all PDS titles unless it's with friends, which makes sense. Like you don't like. I don't know your history. I don't know your story specifically, but a lot of people that I know and have met that work at Paradox, and like Groogy included, is they started working at Paradox because they were fans of the games. They loved the titles. They wanted to do more with them than just play them. Like, to the point where, yeah, you too, yeah. I got into the Paradox titles because of Groogy. I would have never discovered them by myself, and he basically said, like, here, play this. Tune your life to start a Paradox. And so did he. And I think that, to a large extent, that's the case for a lot of game developers. So it makes sense. And this is the same thing for me as a content creator. Like, I am new to this. I'm less than a year into my content creation journey. I've hit like 2,700 subscribers. I'm getting like 1,000, 2,000 views per day. Like, stuff is happening, right? But there's a massive shift that has happened in my head when I'm looking at games now, right? Because now I'm looking at it from not just how much fun can I have with this game. My question is, okay, but can I also make this into content so I can justify playing the game and stuff like that? Like, there's a different level to it, and there's also a failure or a fear of failure. yeah, exactly. And I think that, like, I don't know how long you've been at Paradox, but I can say there was more that I could see problems. Yeah, and I think that the more time we spend with anything, not just game design or game development, not just with playing a game, but with literally anything. Like if you take and read through, say, like I have let's say like a good book. I have the or one of the books that we have is the Silmarillion. So if I read the Silmarillion once, I will get a good sense for all of the stuff in Silmarillion, but I won't have any detail. I see movies, I see games, and I immediately could tear it apart. Yeah, and Empress does the same thing. Like she's an author. She's releasing like weekly chapters. She has released a few books or a couple of books and like children's book and stuff like that. She has gone to school for the like English linguistics and literature. Like she can see the granularity of what she reads. It's like Neo in the Matrix. Like you start seeing the code behind the thing. And I start doing that with the games, and I start doing that with YouTube. So I very much see videos that I make, and look at, okay, this video didn't do as well as it needs to for it to make sense, because if I'm looking at the time I've spent making the video, and I'm not getting return on that video on that time, and I know that if I make a video on Satisfactory, that video will have that return, then I can't continue making that other video, even if they were more fun. You've wanted to get back into streaming too? Nice. That would be nice. Did you stream before? What did you stream? Did you stream game development or like Paradox games, or what did you do? Long ago, yeah. That doesn't matter. I think that it's like I think it's riding a bike. Once you've started, you're just into it. You have the sense. You think differently. Played a lot of War Thunder and World of Warships. Ah, okay. So Desert Wolves, the original military documents leaker, confirmed. But yeah, like I think that the combination of the guaranteed success, because you like guaranteed success, and like you said, like the game, the work is fun. Shit, exposed. Yeah, like I have insight, dude. It just came to me. I think that 100% is correct with the like whole feels good in your brain, because dopamine is such an easy thing to trigger that if you have a list of things to do in your head, and you bring a notepad, the empty notepad, let's say that shopping for groceries is on that, or is in your mental to-do list. So you go shop for groceries. You walk out of the store. After you walked out of the store, write down shop for groceries and then check that off your to-do list physically, that gives you an actual dopamine boost. And a lot of these work games are designed like that. They give you like a ton of different tasks that is guaranteed to give you a little bit of dopamine. You had a whiteboard at your place? Nice. Yeah, exactly. And same thing there. Low stakes chores that you can't fail at. They give you a little bit of like happiness. They give you a little bit of momentary reprieve and stuff like that. But when you go to work, to normal work, actual real work, one, you can fail and that hurts. You can get rejected and that hurts. And more than anything, people don't quit jobs, they quit bosses. I have had a lot of jobs. And in my entire career, I have had one good boss. And she's sitting in the kitchen when I was working for her company. Because she just gave me a task and said, here's the deadline, ask if you need anything, and then walked away. And let me do my thing, and let me fail, and let me have to go down a Google rabbit hole to figure out what I needed to do and to fix it, and blah blah blah, and back and forth. And then by the time the deadline came, I could deliver something, and I had learned a bunch of new things. And there was never any, yeah, but you had to fail 10 times to figure it out. Yeah, if I had the opportunity to leave, I probably would have left Paradox Studios. Yeah. Here's the thing. A question. This is like, it's a privileged question. I'm aware of that. If I, or like, let's say that you win the lottery today. You win enough money that you will never, like, taxes be damned, you will never have to work again. A day in your life. You're set. What of your daily routines would you keep doing, and which ones would go? And even if you would take a part-time job, are you sure you would take a part-time job, like, just because? Or is it just that you need to feel like you're doing something? Because if that's the case, you can do whatever, as long as you feel fulfilled. It doesn't have to be a paying job. But, like, what would you actually have in your life that would fill your days? And for me, one of those things that I ask myself that question is like, this channel, making videos. I would continue doing that. If it's satisfactory or if it's any other game, I don't care, but I want to make videos. I want to be entertaining. I want to be inspiring. I want to, like, my reason for getting out of bed in the morning, I wouldn't want the paying job. I would want to keep busy knowing myself. Yes, which is fine. But then it's like, do you want to write books? Do you want to make music? Do you want to just, like, experiment, like, as a game developer? I don't know what your specialization is, but Grugy, for example, I know that he, like, from what he's told me, and what I can understand and comprehend, I often feel I need a direction. Yeah, so friends, chat with a couple of people. Yeah. So spend, like, if you have that much money, spend a little bit of it and take a project management course so that you know how to create and structure a project, and then hold yourself accountable by streaming it. Yeah, like, if you want to have a job, have a job. Like, that's no, like, there's nothing wrong with that. Ultimately, it's your life and you do what you want with it, right? But it's like, I know that if you gave Grugy, like, infinite money, you don't need a project management course. No, that's fine. Like, I don't know exactly what your specialization is. I don't know what your, like, experience is. Like, as far as I know, is that you know Grugy and Debbie, you work at Paradox, and you are currently working on Stellaris. You need a good psychologist. Yeah. Those are rare in Sweden. Not psychologist, good psychologist. But, like, that's as far as I know about you, right? But I know Grugy, and I know that if you gave him an infinite amount of resources, he would probably just make games and be creative and innovative, and he doesn't even have to finish the games. He just wants to create different systems and have fun with it, and experiment and push boundaries. Because, like, I don't think he feels it's super important to finish finish what he started. I just think that he wants to have insight and learning, and I think that he wants to feel creatively fulfilled. Once he's done that, he moves on. I think that's what he would do with his projects, right? That's the thing with work games, is that you can come home, you can sit down, and you can do all of that and feel like you have things to do without any consequences behind it, without any real, okay, I am, how do I put this? I am just succeeding. I'm just progressing. Like, even if it takes longer, even if I'm inefficient, if I just keep doing it, ultimately, what I will have done is progressed, and there's no boss that can give me a fail at the performance review. It doesn't affect my, like, real life career or how much, like, I can still pay my rent, I cannot, like, all those things. So for that reason, I think work games are popular. I think they are rising in popularity. And I also want to mention, specifically with Satisfactory, why Satisfactory, for me at least, feels a lot different than a lot of others is because they have taken an extra step into not just creating the productivity cycle. They've also made it so that you have an aspect of general creativity to the game, where it becomes less like Factorio, where you are just cycling the same kind of stuff over and over again and trying to figure out how to place things more efficiently. In Satisfactory, some of the stuff that I've seen is like people making the music visualizers using conveyor belts and lights and stuff like that, and signs. I've seen people make parkour maps. I've seen people make what are they called? Escape rooms. I've seen people make a lot of stuff that has nothing to do with what Satisfactory actually is. So I think that Satisfactory, because of its design elements, the visual design elements, they trigger something else other than let's make this more efficient. I think they also add on to this, like, yeah, I'm not feeling that right now. I'm just going to figure out how to build a sphere in this game that doesn't have any spheres. So this is funny. I personally could say Hearts of Iron 4 is a work game for me. Yeah. Definitely. Like, he categorized the games based, I think, a lot more on how you react to them, rather than like what effect it has on you. Because by the no-fail logic, it's how I play the game. I love the warfare. Yeah. And that is perfectly fine. Same thing for me in Stellaris. Like, I haven't failed at the game of Stellaris in a long time. Like, I could sit and ditch war and still enjoy it. Yeah. And I still think that, like, he categorized things based on how it makes people feel. But here's a good question for you as well, Desert. Or Desert Wolves, it doesn't matter. Like, whatever you want to be called. I would like to hear your perspective on what you think genres actually are. What are genres? In games, in books, in movies, what are they? Desert, Wolves, Nick, yeah. A filtering tool? Yeah. If you look at it from the perspective of like a search engine, yeah, definitely. I think that's a fair shake. If we have Let's Build in chat, let's hear his take on what a genre is as well. If he's still paying attention, he might be lurking. But genres were exclusively created not as a filtering tool, but as a marketing tool. Genres were created by marketing agencies and branding and PR agencies. Born out of like things like political campaigning and stuff like that. Essentially. I use genre for no reason rather than searching specifically, even then I find it unhelpful. I mean, I'm not surprised. No, and that makes sense. Like, me and Empress, we were in the marketing business for a long time. She's still working as a communicator. But if you look at the, yeah, today you can use it in a search engine, like it's a very easy way to anything to a single point. Yeah. And if you take a genre, like if you take a medium like books, if you wrote fiction of any kind before the realism era, it was in some way, shape, or form, if you were to rank it by today's standards, or like categorization, or genre system, whatever you want to call it, you would put every single fictional book written before the realism era, and you would place them squarely into fantasy. The first sci-fi novel ever written was as a rebellion of the realism era. Before then, creativity had a lot more freedom. And when realism came into play, and then post-realism, and you get into like modern and postmodernism and stuff like that, there was a number of publishing houses and stuff like that that basically went, well, what if we say that we only deal with realistic books, with realist or art houses, that we only deal with realistic paintings? Because we also didn't have things like art sciences and stuff like that. We didn't have empirical art sciences, or we didn't have the scientific method wasn't applied outside of the STEM fields until 1848 or 1854, something around there. Before then, all the humanities, all the human sciences, all the soft sciences were pretty much down to trust me, bro. And peer reviewing it was insulting the original author. That sucks. So publishing houses and stuff like that, and art galleries and stuff, they had run of the mill to run of the field to just say, hey, if you don't like postmodern or post-realistic or whatever, or surreal art or whatever, then you suck. You are of a lesser kind. So it was social pressure used to make money, essentially. And nowadays, it's grown and become such a cultural staple that we just use it to, like you say, like sort it with search engines and stuff like that. But the actual what it actually does is, in my opinion, in the creative fields specifically, it limits them. Because Satisfactory didn't say, hey, let's make a factory and automation game. Ultimately, they say, hey, let's make a good game in which you can also build factories. And the way that ended up is a game where people go in and play like they do in Minecraft, where they are just creative, freely on their own terms. That is rare, incredibly so. I think that a different game that has a different way of doing that, or a different game genre, is specifically the Paradox Grand Strategy games. But rather than on a purely creative level, I think that it challenges logic. You just cause psychic damage. Yes. I'm a psychic type Pokemon, so that makes sense. You know, growing up, I was called Sassy the Sasquatch for a long time because I was the hairiest guy in our friend group. So, I am a cryptid. That's already been established. But yeah, like that's one of the big things that I just wanted to show this and talk a little bit about that. I really like that. But I do love going into the deep end on understanding the human nature. I have actually done some classes in like psychology, philosophy, ethics and morals was a class we had. Laws and like stuff like that. We also had a class on when I went to high school. Well, we actually had 2 courses in psychology, 1 course in philosophy, and 1 course in ethics and morals. And yeah, we had a bunch of that kind of fun stuff. So it adds a lot of context. And then I consume knowledge at the same pace Grugy does. He's just way more intelligent than I am. So I have to read a lot more before I get as smart as he does. The few times he's smart. I have to put that in, like, the few times he is smart. Intelligence is just a stat. Yeah. Like, yeah, if you put it like that, my intelligence stat is like 12. Like nowhere near the top echelon, but it's not like I am getting penalties to it. Your main stat is wisdom, yeah. My main stat is constitution. I am durable as hell. But I think that what I managed to do is up my proficiencies. In the knowledge proficiencies, in the like I've read so much. I've read everything. Do you remember back in the day? I don't know your age, but back in the day, when you were bored in school, and you just sat down and you started doing like diving into like Wikipedia rabbit holes. I did that with Wikipedia and with books. By the time we actually had the philosophy and courses and stuff like that. You never did that? Yeah, no, I basically just started reading about like, I wanted to know what the difference was between normal gold and cat gold. Like pyrite. And I basically started reading about pyrite, and then I started reading about gold, and then I just dove into like elements and minerals and what made them take the shape they do, and what like I literally spent like 6 hours reading about nothing but geology. And then I was in a rabbit hole, so I spent the next 5 or 6 days doing just that. That's how my teenage years was spent. And here's the fun thing. The reason why I learned all of this, why I dove into this and read all of this stuff, You were too busy playing Age of Empires 3. Okay, yeah, makes sense. But yeah, the reason why I dove into all of this is tabletop role-playing games. Oregon Trail. I never played Oregon Trail. I played Age of Empires 3 a little bit. Never played Oregon Trail. I was in a weird place. And this is like a thing for me and Groogy. Tabletop Oregon Trail. Here's the thing. Me and Groogy, it has to exist. I don't know, let's Google it. Let's give this there. Make sure that nothing weird pops up when I search. I'm searching for it off screen here. Oregon Trail tabletop game. Yeah, the Oregon Trail game, Journey to Willamette Valley, 2018. It exists. There we go. You have a board game idea you were told you should prototype? If you... here's the thing. If you work in the games industry, you know this stuff. But if you start to make something like a board game, it's probably going to take just as long as it would making a computer game. Like, I'm making this map. Each of these houses are placed. That's not just a paintbrush. I would love one. Yeah, you know I can make the board game solo. Yeah, same thing for me. Like, I'm making this so I can play it with my friends. Like, this isn't a commercial project. This is just me making a game. I learned everything I did because of Groogy, because Groogy created the first tabletop role-playing game that I played. And then I was just sucked in. I never clicked with D&D specifically. But I did click with our games because we had so much the rabbit hole freedom, if you can call it that. Like, we played games where it was about, like, if you wanted to block a fireball, you didn't just roll a dice and say, like, oh yeah, my number was higher than the other ones, so I won. You got to sit there with the game master or dungeon master and explain to them how, on a more or less like conceptual, philosophical level, what you did made sense as a defense against the fireball thrown at you. And if that made sense, you won. Like, in the reality of the game, like within the rules of the world that you were playing in. And we've also played games where it's been like every single roll matters, every single number matters, every single whatever matters, to the point where we've forgotten to have a story and the game dies out because you have no emotional ties to the world, the characters, or anything, really. But the thing was that when I started playing with Groogy, I started playing with my brother, and I started playing with... I basically think of him as my brother because we've grown up together and we've been spending our lives together. So it's my other brother. but we're not actually related. And the three of them was sitting, and they were talking, and they were playing, and everything went above my head. I just felt stupid. So I wanted to fix that. So I learned I mean, me and Grugi, we've grown up so close together. Like, I've grown up with my brother, and I've grown up with this other guy who I think of as my brother. Like, I've known them their entire lives, pretty much. Or, like, the other guy, like, since he was 7, or, like, since I was 7. I don't remember, but something like that, for a long time. Me and Grugi are 5 months apart, and we grew up in the same house. The first couple of years. And we have been hanging out since. So I have known Grugi, and we've been there for each other and hung out and done things with together, and been there in the rough times and the good times and everything, since we were born. So I think of him just as much as my brother as I do my actual brother and that other guy. I actually think of Grugi more so as my best friend than my brother, who is my other best friend, and the other guy who is my other best friend, right? Because me and Grugi have, to a large extent, had more things in common. We grew up in a similar way, we had similar struggles, and main difference happened in the teenage years, where we were given choice. What are you gonna do with your career? What are you gonna do with your life? And we were playing semi-competitively in like first-person shooters in internet cafes and stuff like that. We had our clan, we competed, we won, we lost, we laughed, we cried, a bunch of stuff, right? And that started going places, with Grugi starting to learn programming, starting to develop his proficiencies and everything. And at the same time, I was getting better as a gamer. And then, at the same time, we were both training martial arts to a pretty big extent. And then I don't know how it went down for him, but I know it went down like this for me. I was told by my mother that you gotta pick one. And she made damn clear that if I don't pick the one she likes, we have problems. And she never liked me gaming. So do you want to focus on your martial arts and your athleticism and that career, or do you want to focus on gaming? That's the choice I was given. So I picked martial arts. So I pretty much stopped playing games. Unless I was hanging out with Grugi, I didn't play games. And I just trained. I trained for, like, between the ages of, I think, like, I would say 16 and 20, I trained at least, I think, 40, 42 hours a week. I went to a martial arts high school. I trained at home. I was a trainer since I was 14, so I also trained other people. And I competed and stuff up until I was 17, 18, something like that. Yeah. She was aggressive in that you should be doing sports or not. Because I remember you're from the US, right? You said you were from California. So, and if I like, and correct me if I'm wrong, this is just going off of what I've learned from friends that I've talked to and things that I have seen on the internet. So it can be completely off the mark. But you guys have a, like, for your kids, there's like a start here and go towards the pro leagues kind of track to go on. that starts from a pretty young age, with the club culture. Like if you join a club in the US, it's because you are aiming to become elite. Rather than just joining a like weekend team that plays, or just go out and play and stuff like that. But like, correct me if I'm wrong, but if that's the culture, we don't really have that here. Like, I'm saying this basing, like, I'm paraphrasing from a stuff that I've heard parts from different places, right? But we don't have that here. We have an incredibly strong hobby culture with when it comes to sports and stuff like that. But to go from hobby to job in like stuff like martial arts and stuff like that is more or less impossible. Like, unless you are playing the big sports, unless you're playing like football / soccer, like the one where you actually play football with your feet. I've been told I have the body for certain sports. Yeah, I think that sports, to a large extent, physical sports, to a large extent, has a lot more of a, you need to have the right kind of body for the sport that you are aiming to excel in. I never cared for the competitiveness of it. I did. I competed and I wanted to win. And I got damn good at it. To the point where I went to when I was 16, I went to a shoot fighting competition in Denmark. I don't know if you have heard of it. It's called K1. And the way that it works here in Europe is you can start learning about chokes and joint locks and stuff like that when you are 14 years old. And you can start competing in competitions using those. But you can't do stuff like MMA competitively. You can't do shoot fighting competitively and stuff like that. You can do boxing, or you can do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or judo or wrestling, or you can do karate, or you can do whatever. But the mixed aspect, you're not allowed to do until you hit 16, at which point you can start doing shoot fighting, where you are not allowed to punch and kick at your opponent that is laying down, but you are allowed to wrestle them and joint lock and stuff like that. And if you stand up, you are allowed to punch and kick and do all those things. So I went to a qualifying kind of competition, a tournament in Denmark, in Copenhagen, and I won that competition. And I walked away from that with a partially fractured shin bone on my left leg. I walked away with massive black eye. I walked away from that with so much injuries. And I was also approached by a scout from the US who wanted to offer me patronage, who wanted to bring me over, train me, and basically prep me and then enter me in to qualify for leagues that would ultimately lead to the UFC. So I was offered the career that I had been training for, that I'd been going to school for, and all that stuff. My cousin got that in the US, but with golf, yeah. I have worked with a lot of golfers as well. I worked for a while as a massage therapist and like conversational therapist and stuff like that. And I had some elite golfers on my table during that period. Really interesting physiology that happens when you've gone for a lot of years. But yeah, like just a little bit of a tangent there. But the thing was that I walked away with so many injuries, and I was like, late teenage years, right? Second half of my teenage years, and just went like, if I do this, and if I push, the level of injury has gotten progressively worse, even when I win. The further I go, the better I get, because my opponents keep getting better. And you're going to hit a point where it takes longer to heal from the injury, both because of age and because of the severity of injury. You're going to take longer to heal from the injury than it's going to take between your matches. And at that point, I'm guaranteed to start getting proper chronic permanent injuries. And that's going to probably happen before I hit 30. So I just had this realization that if I keep going here, I'm not gonna last. I'm gonna destroy myself. And I got a little bit of a wake-up call during a sparring match with a karate black belt who, like, we were told, like, we were explicitly told during the in the instructional part of this sparring session that, hey, you're just warming up. No, like, you can pull your punches. It's just about like get warmed up, just move around, just do your thing. And we were practicing full contact karate. This wasn't the normal that you see a lot of in competitive circles. This was like full contact karate. And we were just doing our thing. And he just had no chill. I don't know if he was on something. I don't know what was going on, but he just goes in and he just like knocks me over, grabs me, and puts a knee in my sternum. Hard enough that I can feel my heart stop and start again. And then the accompanying nausea, pain, and panic that comes with that. And I am no stranger to like life-threatening situations. I'm no stranger to death or anything like that. But it for a long time gave me, I have to say, like a light version of the yips. And when I had processed that, I was like, at that point, I didn't care if I won or lost. I just want to learn and get better and feel better. So I stopped competing, stopped training to be elite, and started training for myself and my health. And I started training others with the same mentality. It's like, hey, you don't have to become the best. You just have to feel good and have fun. And feel like you're learning something. Feel like you're developing as a person. That's it. And if you want to push for more, if you want to push for more than that, this is not the place you should be training. Essentially. So I had a lot of that. And then I got done with high school, came out into work life, and I started working at the same place that Grugi's dad was working and my dad was working. As in, like, my dad and my uncle. And I worked there for 4 years. And it almost destroyed me. But it also gave me a lot of insight. And the biggest insight that I got from that was, let's just become a better version of yourself every day. And then I started training people with that same mentality, and I realized ultimately, and this is a very personal journey for me. And this, I think that everyone partly goes through this journey. I don't think that necessarily everyone has the same level of definition to it or like words to put behind it. But like I said, I studied psychology, I studied philosophy, I studied ethics and morals. I studied a bunch of stuff that gave me a language to use when I was thinking about this. And it came down to, why do you get out of bed in the morning? Because I was going through depression, I was going through burnout, and I was going through a period of honestly wanting to unalive myself. Sucks, but that's the case. And in which case, Grugi and my brother saved me. And just taking a breath, so I don't break down on stream crying from sappiness here. But the concept of why do you want to get out of bed is what keeps the dark thoughts at bay. And the reason why I get out of bed is that every day I want to do my best to inspire someone to be better tomorrow than they were today. And I will do that by trying to do the same things. By reading, by introspection, by taking accountability for when I've fucked up, when I've made mistakes, when I've hurt someone. Even if I don't understand how something have hurt someone, I will accept if they tell me that I have. And I want to not do that, right? So I learn from that, and I learn from stuff like this. Like, I start learning technical new tools. I have had long conversation. I feel as though my reason has become that I have gotten a taste for the things I want in life, and I want to accomplish that for real. Yeah. I mean, 100%. Yeah. 100% that you should do that. You should definitely go for the things that you have a taste for. Like, I always have the whole go nuts, and like, you're friends with Debbie and Grugi. Like, I have 100% faith in their like picking good friends and stuff. So it's a redundant statement saying that, but it's more for like people who might be watching the VOD and stuff. If you are spending time doing what you want and what you love, that is the best thing you can do with your life. And there is no one who should stop you from doing that, including yourself. Happy Halloween, Mr. Purple. Or Mr. Pupple. With the asterisk, unless it hurts someone. Once again, with asterisk. It's the whole, like, the paradox of tolerance is that you have to be intolerant towards certain things. We are creating some maps. We are creating some role-playing games, tabletop role-playing games that I make role-playing games that I play with my friends. Right now we've had a long conversation about a bunch of stuff. I don't know the tangent I've been on. My brain has streamer memory. But yeah, this one is a kind of an inspiration on, if you read those Korean like manhwa kind of things where it's fantasy and they're talking about like, oh, I've reached 5-star blah 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 level existence and power, and I have cultivated this and like all that. I've read a bunch of those. I've watched a bunch of them on Netflix and stuff, and it's kind of been like rolling in my mind with like, how can you do something like that as a tabletop role-playing game that doesn't add all of the hard to understand complexity for new players, but as you play, they kind of that complexity kind of ramps up at the same pace that the player wants to seek it out, kind of thing. So that's this game pretty much, where this is the basic setup, the basic premise of it, and then on top of that, you're just doing the map, or also designing the characters. I'm going to I will not be designing the look of the characters as much as I will probably just find reference images for the look of the characters that I want in the game. Because, I don't know, Mr. Popple, have you played a lot of D&D and stuff like that? Or Baldur's Gate? So that I know if I can reference things and you understand it. Just to make sure that I don't make you feel stupid or anything like that. Never played D&D. Okay. And do you know the structure of like campaigns? Of how you tend to have your characters, they meet up, they do an adventure, there's like a session or multiple sessions for a campaign. And then when that campaign is done, the game is over. The characters are retired and stuff like that. Or they come back in a different campaign, you play with the same characters again, like depending on what you want to do or what the rules the dungeon master has set up is. That structure, we never had that growing up. We always built our role-playing games as you make a character and then you live their life. You've done character design, but I don't think I've done role-playing game like that. Okay. Yeah, well, what we do is... So, if you take... I'm gonna see if I can find a good example here. Let's look at my role-playing game folders. Boom-ba-doom. We can grab here. So I can show you. This is one we've been playing in Discord. So we basically make this as the thing. And this game is called Katana. The whole premise of it is that you are bound to a magical katana. You have no idea what Twitch is up to? What's on? What's going on? But yeah, then I have to put in, like, for the systems that we have, I make my character. This is my inventory. And you got auto-modded. What? Okay, I'm gonna bring it up and make sure that if it happens again, type to me on Discord and I will just fix it. There. So if something happens, I will fix it. Just type to me on Discord so I can see it. All right. There. But yeah, like, we basically make a character, but instead of having a... Oh, you're headed out? Yeah. See you around. Thank you so much for the conversation. It went very deep there. Went very heavy, I think, too. So, sorry about that. I've seen people do similar stuff on YouTube and I've played any of this myself. Yeah. So the base thing you can think of is, like, if you're making a character for... I see you Wednesday, yeah. We'll see you then. So the base premise is when you make a character, and at the starting point you start, like, logically, like, level 1, you're weak, you don't have all the equipment, you don't have contacts, and the main difference is that you're playing your life, your character's life is your campaign, not necessarily with a group of other people. The only person you need to be able to play is the dungeon master. I know they have different systems, but the main one I've seen is roll a wheel, and if it's a high number, a good thing happens, and if it's a low number, a bad thing happens. Yeah, that's essentially what you tend to do with Dungeons and Dragons as well. It's like they use a D20, one of these. So if you roll a 1, that's really bad. If you roll a 20, you got really good results. That is to introduce a level of chaos to the randomization to the whole system. Because otherwise, if I'm the dungeon master, I would just be saying like this happens, and you as the player don't actually have an influence on the results. But by adding the dice, no matter what, if I say like, yeah, bad guy punches you in the face, and you say like, okay, I dodge. If there's no dice or any randomization, I can just say like, well, they hit. You can't dodge. Haha, fuck you. That isn't going to be fun in the end. You might as well just read a book. So there's a level of randomization, and the way that I've done this over here. Okay, we can take here game picks, for example. So we use a lot of these. We just look through YouTube or Google. We just look through Pinterest or whatever, and we find reference images that helps us visualize what we look like, the characters we meet, and stuff like that. But we are also spending time with, like me as a dungeon master, I spend time characterizing the personality traits and tics and experiences and pasts of the characters that the characters meet. Go back to those images again. Here. These are just random images that we've picked that helps us visualize stuff. So we are not playing in any way, shape, or form commercialized. So because we don't have to want to worry about stuff like copyright and trademarks and stuff like that. So this is just for our private use. Okay, wow, never mind. One of them looks exactly like one of my designs, but no, it's different. Okay. But yeah, like we have a lot of these. We have like whole databases saved at this point with images to help with that. But essentially, rather than the whole, okay, 4 people sit down and play 4 hours on a Sunday, we try to play a little bit all the time. We play in Discord, we play in voice chat, we play when we meet, and stuff like that. So that the character's life kind of progresses. And the only person that I have to have there to do that is the dungeon master, if I'm the player, right? So it's not we don't play party-based campaigns. We play our campaign, and then sometimes we plan and we meet up, and we have a bunch of people there that plays the same game and has the same dungeon master. Okay, then we can create an event for that that is specific to that meetup, and everyone can play the game together and stuff like that. So we've created a quite different system compared to what you would normally see in like Dungeons and Dragons and Pathfinders and stuff like that. It tends to be very campaign and party based between players. So for example, I actually did some designing for a similar event like this a long time ago. Yeah, it's very big business. People buy their like images and designs for their characters, for like weapons, equipment, pets, gear, maps, you name it. There is like artists working with this stuff constantly all over the place. I have a thing I want to I have absolutely zero cash. I have no money. I can't pay for anything. But one of the things I want to do when I get to the point where I feel like, okay, I've made it, was I wanted to have, or I want to make sure that I want it professionally done. I want like a big thing with like the main characters that I've played over the past 20 years. I have one of those characters front and center. That character, give me a second. My brother gave me a couple of figurines from Hero Forge. Haven't painted them yet, but here you go. This is my character in that game, and their sidekick, the closest thing to they are the partner and partner in crime and lover of that character. And that is actually where I have gotten my handle from. That character's name is Jack Blade. So that is the origin story. My character is Jack Blade. So I am Jack Blade. And let's see if I can find there. There's just a few thousand pictures here. There. This here is me. It's if you want to, go right ahead. Like, I'm not going to force you to do any one thing. But yeah, like this is my main character. I've been playing that same character since 2012. I'm not joking. 2012, I started playing Jack Blade. That character is still alive. When I started playing the character, this is the other character. That's the second in command. That's the partner in crime and lover of Jack Blade, Kambala, the Guardian Grandmaster. I didn't draw any of these images. This is just stuff that we have found online to use as reference. Like, I am a 3.5 meter tall, like tanky ass crap, white anthropomorphic tiger in that game, because the race that I'm playing is all feline. They are all anthropomorphic felines, and they're a very like powerful warrior race and stuff like that. And I basically started as a 16-year-old. My character started as 16 years old. And I've been playing through, so that character now is coming up on their 35th birthday. And I've been playing every detail of that character's life. I haven't had like, okay, well, we're skipping the next 5 years, and then come back. Like, I've been playing throughout those like 15 in-game years, and I've been spending 13 real-life years playing that character. So that's how we build our role-playing games, with that longevity in mind. We want to be playing in a world that exists constantly, not just during the campaigns. So that's the go-to. Let's see that there. And right now, I have been making this. So I've been using Incarnate, that is a map making tool. I've been making other maps before as well. Can look at that. Save and leave. This is a big map. This has a lot of detail on it, so it takes a while to save. Come on. There we go. So I made this. There's a few details here that I've been like, okay, I need to fix these for this map to be really, really good. But let me just lock you. So yeah. But yeah, like every single tree here, every hill, every mountain, everything has been manually placed. It's literally, if I hide the objects, this is what I started working with. And then the foreground is the land, background is the water. And then I have literally just added in the names of places, some of the core things that I added in here, and then the rest of the map. And created this little hamlet that is the setting for a more event-based thing that we did. Where this is supposed to be like an eldritch horror mystery game. Where the players have to kind of figure out like, what the hell's going on? Why are people dying or disappearing and stuff like that? So a lot of fun with making that map. Don't save. But now I have started getting started on this. And I kind of have it here, but the focus that I wanted to look at today was actually, what are we doing with the 5 great families? So I want to figure out what family number 1, can I actually do this? There, only 1, and then I can copy there. So I need to figure out their names. So, what I'm thinking, the world setting is like post-apocalyptic, shit went down. I don't necessarily want just Eastern Asian style names or anything like that, or super fantasy names. They should be grounded a little bit. I think in I want some like more almost like Germanic, Celtic names when we're looking at this. More or less with a more or less flair. So the first great family, let's no. Let's just start there. I'm want to make this longer, I think. Trejournal. That's family number 1. Family number 2. What should your name be? We can take Vrimstal. Let's see, what more do we have? We can grab something like... Edeltirnash. Like that. And then family number 4. Too weird to pronounce. Does that make sense? Omtech. And then let's go for boop boop bum bum. Avernofre. All right. So those are the 5 families that runs Sanctuary, the last city. And let's see, I want to have like a family motto, like the thing, the guiding star for true members of the family kind of thing. So if we go thinking, trying to do the thinking that I need to get something to drink. Give me a second, I'll just get something to drink. If you have any good like family motto, family quote thing for medieval fantasy, trying to survive the apocalypse type family, like noble family, that is like warriors, traders, there's politics, there's like, if you have something like that pops up into your head, type it in chat. All right, I'm back. So and here's the thing, I'm Swedish, and the last king of Sweden, not the one we have right now, his dad had a motto. I'm gonna use that one. I like that one. So, which family should have it? I think Omtech should have this one. I still don't know what Omtech is gonna be all about, but the motto is part of figuring that out. And it's gonna be T above all. And then we need another one. Let's see if we can find some. Let's see. I'm gonna Google, see if we have any good. Gonna do that where if I get weird results, I don't get demonetized. Okay, here we got something. Okay, some of these are freaking funny. Yeah, this one is good. Okay, that's I like that. Honor for life. There we go. That's a good one. Oh, we can use a Socratian thing here. The highest thing is that of being fellow man. There we go. And let's go for... Do we have another one good here? Boom, boom, boom. Oh, that's a nice one. We will die before we are broken. That's a nice one. And let's see. Averno Frey, what do we have for you? Let's see. Yeah, like that. There we go. So then we have their... How should I say this? Like, that gives a little bit of a identity to each, right? But we also want a focus. Within the city, everything is incredibly utilitarian. everyone is fighting to survive in one way or another, and the houses are the ones running everything from a service level to an exterior defense level. Like everything is in one way or another owned and run by the cities or the great families. So what is everyone's main focus? We need one of the families to have they've taken a duty of care for the Great Bazaar and the bank, or at least the Great Bazaar, and then we need one for the bank, and then we need for culture and learning, and then we need to have one for like the military stuff, for like power, military power. So I am thinking that this becomes they are scholars. These are merchants, I think. Let's see. Ooh, I want to put you at they are no, not even that. They are building the big infrastructure stuff in the city. Scholars, merchants. And then warriors, scholars, builders, merchants. And we need like a you guys are there we go. I want to like throw a wrench in stuff. Because you can see a lot of this doesn't jive 100%. And like this is just going to keep popping up. So I'm gonna do this and add them to the dictionary. Trejournal of Vrimstal, Edeltirnash, Omtech, and no, Averno Frey as in one word. Add to dictionary. There. Fighting victory, death and defeat. They are merchants. Oh, and then we got to then look at oh. We have a little bit of a contextual description, the common knowledge stuff that all players know and understand, or all characters know and understand because they grew up in the city. Not grew up. Way back in. Would leave the city. Millennium with 2L. And one from leaving the city. That's redundant. We already know it's the city. The original. Take a different number. $173,000. Was built with this in mind, and the 5 families never planned for staying long enough that taking population growth consideration try to shorten the sentences here a little bit, make it easier to read. To the reverse. Thickness. Now, so much time has passed that despite the continued losses of the reavers, sickness and infighting, the nation is near 15 million people. On the source flow over time, power. Can I please spell always correctly? Thank you. But because the viewers attack so frequently, the ultimate threat forced peace. Continued peace. To work together to create a system of government that meant the relation not only lived but also contributed to the fences of the city and each family took to govern their word And upon of the city, its defenses, and boom. All right. That's a little bit of information. We can fix that. That doesn't need to be a comma, but we can do that. Okay. The 5 great families formed all the way back in the original building of Sanctuary, the last city. The idea back then was to build a hidden fortress where they could hide until the monstrous hordes had passed on and they could leave, or they could, there we go, leave the city. As the centuries turned to millennia, the Reavers had never stopped attacking. The infinite hordes found the city very quickly and started attacking nightly, preventing anyone from leaving. The original population was somewhere around 173,000 citizens. And the city was built with this in mind. The 5 wealthy families that funded the project realized they had never planned for staying long enough that taking population growth into consideration, to do. Wow. Thing. Boop. Up. Now, so much time has passed that despite the continued losses for the Reavers, sickness and infighting, the population is near 15 million people. There. They've come up with a lot of innovative solutions, some less humane than others, to deal with the overpopulation. The families always had an iron grip on the resource flow and always stayed in power. They fought amongst themselves a few times, but because the Reavers attacked so frequently, the ultimate threat forced continued peace. This meant they had to work together to create a system of government that meant the population not only survived, but also contributed to the defenses of the city. Each family took to govern their preferred and agreed upon aspects of the city, its defenses, and ideas for how to live life. This is the last of surviving humans. The families are for taking that. Hey, hello, Mr. Popple. I have just written a bit of a thing for the great families here. I have figured out the family names. They have like mottos, and what are their like what are like when you see someone from the Troiano family, what do you think? Do you think that they are a warrior? Like they're gonna have the visual aesthetics and appeal and outlook as a warrior and stuff like that. You can put it. You're in the Discord. You can put it in the streaming stuff. You can put it there in the social boards. That is where I tend to look at when or ask people to put stuff. But yeah, I'm really happy with this. It gives context, and I think okay, I need to change some of this writing. It's too specific. There. Okay, let's check. What have you done there? Hey, nice. Very cool. Nice sketch. You're really good at this. I've my facial expression being what it is because I'm thinking. So me being a bit flat-faced is not me not appreciating. It's because when I'm thinking about like this stuff, like what I'm writing and stuff, and I'm doing that, my face kind of just like shuts off. So I don't show a lot of emotion or anything like that. But I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it looks really good, and I very much appreciate the effort. Let's see here. The city was the present population is near 15 million people. Yeah, good luck. The families always have an iron grip on the resource funds. They're empowered. They fought amongst themselves, but because the previous acts of thing, there will be threat for continued peace. The last known best in the families are responsible for making that happen. What gods as untouchable ideals? There we go. He has family members. There we go. They're more or less seen as near untouchable ideals, the level of resource each family has. And the power they have gained keeps the class divide firmly in place. Even though is adopted by a unless the so this creates a weird reverence for the main family members, where they are more or less seen as near untouchable ideals of means to be human. Sort of idol or paragon worship. The level of resources each family has and the power they have gained keep the class divide firmly in place. Even though every war force is adopted by a family, when they pass 18, they are not seen as part of the actual family unless they get officially recognized as the current leaders of their family. Yeah. Let's see here. Family 1. A little bit of a description on them. I think makes sense with Uh, go. The Triano family spends their time training warriors, exploring in the military academies. Exploring outside the city, then strive to be the frontline defense every night. Here's the last city. So all of these documents that I'm making are going to be available for everyone playing, right? So, and because I'm the only dungeon master, like this isn't a rule book or system that I'm supposed to be able to just give to someone else and they can just start playing. So a lot of the stuff I'm going to have notes, not here, but in Discord and in my phone. I'm gonna have a lot of notes in my phone, and ultimately that's gonna be like a more extensive repository of the knowledge outside of the common knowledge that the players will get over time as they play the game and experience stuff and learn. Let's see. So this is not a lot because common people doesn't know a lot about the families outside of this, because these are the rumors about them. And they know these because they are printed on every building owned by them and operated by them. So let's see, let's remove that, go up here. Family 2, Ringstad, the highest calling status, serving fellow man. As opposed to the favors of all else. They rate all schools, race, and rate in the city. are the record keepers and AM's and something that these guys do that we know about, because that's a common thing. They also release a daily newspaper. Here's the events and goings on the day before. And then we have Family 3. El Tirnash. We will die before we are broken. Builders. Only needed expansion for a growing population. Needed defenses. Better gear. Of the art city that falls to disrepair or takes damage nightly attacks. What the Nash the city. The most inspired and controversial action they took was to excavate and down into the mountain, building the undercity. Because of the defenses and vulnerability. I think that's how it's not completely wrong spell. Vulnerability. There we go. Because of weakened defense from multi and low, it'll Nash this the majority says on the gates from being breached. There, every night. And then we have Omtech, the spiritualists. Just family. Tech. Not grand. It's not churches. Massive. Or for the lost ones, homeless people, the people that doesn't pass the Warforged test, about 5% of the population. They are, how do I put this? They can't do anything. The way that you gain power, the way that you earn money, and the way that you do things here is by fighting in the army. And if you can't fight in the army or find a job in any way, other different way, you can't make money. Without money, you can't get more powerful. Without getting more powerful, like you see, the cycle doesn't really start for them. And no money, they can't pay for anywhere to live. They're screwed. So they become homeless, and they are the lost ones. They are the 5% of the population that don't have anywhere to go. They tend to work for scraps, for a little bit of food in the Undercity, or spend time in the Grand Citadels. There we go. Raider. Asaf. There we go. No. Boom. And then we have the final family here. Um, while this films do with the direct defense of the city. The I don't know play the blue for the sure that sure as food or clothes. And so motivates Forge to put in required to win grow stronger. Uh, Instead of the walls. Rank family member. Well, the other family's greatest contributions ultimately has to do with the direct defense of the city of the city. The Averna Frey are single-handed. The Averna Frey are single-handedly responsible for the infrastructure that makes sure the city has food, water, clothes, clean streets, and also motivates Warforged to put in the effort required to grow stronger. They do this through the massive trade, production, and banking system they have implemented. They are the most hands-on family concerning the lowborn, making sure farms, wells, workshops, goods transportation, and goods transportation have people working there instead of dying at the walls. There we go. So those are the 5 families kind of like outlined with the common knowledge level knowledge about them. Yeah. Let's see. While they attract the largest number of members joining after the test, that has the most balls every night. They also A gray. Our percentage of tier 2. I'm gonna leave it a mystery why that is. I know why that is, but I'm leaving it a mystery. All right. That's the great families. Let's start looking at stat tables for Reavers, which inadvertently leads us to we need to make character sheets. So let's look at normal as character sheet. Let's write that. Let's see if do I have one? Good. I can just copy in. Yeah, I have some stuff. Let's go. This is which family you join. Then we need to know age. And we need to know gender. We don't need that. We don't need that. I'm gonna copy this over so I don't forget it, but then I'm gonna start like making this more like, okay, what's a template for a stat table? Don't need that. Look at this. And then we can say health and energy. And then we need to be looking at we don't have a lot. That's good. And we do need to look at how many cultivation points they have racked up. Hmm. And then we need to look at proficiencies. Inventory. Techniques. Think this is the ultimate shorthand for what we are doing, where we can do this, put in a little bit of divider there, we don't need that. Then we can put a little bit of a divider here. Where's my divider? Meh, there. Get rid of that, and then we need a divider. We need two dividers here. So divider one. Actually, space first, and then a divider again. And remove that. And we can add in divider, space, and another divider. And we have techniques and another divider. If I just make this, we don't lose anything, and then we can copy this over. We can make another page out here called character start. Let's add an icon, and then we're adding a person. There. We're copying this in. We can go back to reverse. Let's change it again to name, energy, health. You don't need to have a certain amount of cultivation points. You do need proficiencies. You do need to have an inventory. You do need techniques. So this is the template. Let's just call it that. Should I just go stat block? There. And let's write down what are reavers. Bum 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 bum. Monsters from are real and they come night. Where there are stars, night sky. No one knows from near, knows from where, how many they are, why they are doing what they do, or anything else about them other than that they are mindless killing machines, and if they break the city's defenses, it is the end for humanity. And we once cats or dogs. There. Smallest and weakest ones are the size of cats or dogs, and some of them tower as high as mountains. Uh, Hmm. I like that line. I like that line a lot. All right. Name. I do want to add one thing in here though. Description. I want a physical description, maybe even an image. We'll see. Also, need to rank them. So here, 1 through 10, and then celestial, depending on how powerful they are. All right. Perfect. So what would one of these guys look like? So if we grab let's do that. Add another divider. And down here, can add a heading 2, and we will call this one the Reaver Bestiary. And then we will add another divider. And then we can take this, copy, and paste. Let's make this one, actually, into a heading 1. There. And then we will do like this and add another divider. And here we will add a heading 2, tier 1 reverse. There. And then we can go with, it's going to be a tier 1, of course. The name can be boom, 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 boom. A rabid charger. There we go. Nations and more targets. So they're essentially your like standard wolves. Now just add like demonic murderous intent to it, and yeah. They reach to the hip overgrown humans, so they're pretty tall. The funny thing is these are tier 1s. fur as much as a coating of beasts. Teeth of these beasts can easily most tier 1 armor. Let's look at the proficiencies, because they have, like, everything and everybody have the primary proficiencies, right? So if we just go like this, and just boop-a-doop. There we go. Body. Here. What are we gonna give them? Let's give them a 6. Meaning they have a 60 health pool. Mind. Say they have a 4. Let's put this in the template. Oh, I did put that in the template. Oh. Oh well. Then I will put it here. Let's color you. Let's give you 6. There. So here's my thinking. When you start your characters, all of your proficiencies starts with having 1. What would that be? Like a D6? Do I have a D6? Yes, I do. So a normal character, given these, let's look up here. So a normal character would roll 1d6 in each. So you would get 4 body, 2 mind, 5 soul, 2 air, 1 earth. One fire. This is just my normal dice rolls. And 2 water. Not. Okay. These are in the wrong place. Let's move you guys. There. So with this, you don't have that. With that, this character that we're theoretically looking at now is not really completed, because what I'm then thinking is that you, when you make a character, also get to pick 3 of these to put, or you get to put where you want to put another 4 of these, I think. 4 D4s. And then you roll that one. Let's say that you want to put like you really want to play the more guile, you want to have a high ability to act first and stuff like that. You want to have a high mind. So you put 2 in mind. That's a 3 and a 3. So that's another 6. So this one would be 8. And then let's say that you want to deal with a lot of water, so you put another D4 there. Let's go. What's that? That's a 4, meaning you have 6 in that. And the final one, where do you want to put that? And that would be, let's put that in body, which would mean that you have, with a roll of 2, you have 6. So this is your starting character. If we look at this, 6, 4, 2, 6, 2, 2, 2. 6, 8, 5, 2, 1, 1, 6. You're pretty much equivalent to one of those. And when you go out your first few nights, given that you survive, you also get a few more cultivation points that you can place on this stuff. But if you go out the first nights, you're going out in a group. So you're going to have a pack yourself. So even if you're fighting something like rabid chargers, if you can kill one of them, that's good. It pretty much guarantees cultivation points. You survived your first night. That's good. That kind of stuff. But yeah, so we're looking at, they have 60. I'll also put you in the wrong space. Good at this. There. And they have soul too, so you have 20 energy as a rabid charger. And then inventory. What do a rabid charger drop? They drop between 1 and 10 tier 1 unrefined material. So you roll a d10, roll one of these. If you kill one of these, your loot from this would be 10 unrefined material. These are the ones that at the end of the night you collect, you keep what you kill, then you go to the merchant's supplier store and you sell everything at an 80% discount for the people buying it. This means that you make a little bit of money, get your salary, you can get a little bit of gear, you can get a little bit of food, you can rest, you can do what you want during the night, or the day, rather, and live your life normally, and then you go back to work in the night. And at that point, you're probably a little bit stronger, and everything. And what we're also going to be looking at is techniques. The rabbit charger does not have any techniques. They are not that kind of wolf. Well, these are pretty straightforward to fight. They're the weakest, they're the slime of the world. But yeah, like they can bite through most tier 1 armor. The only thing that I will put in here is their like damage bonuses. So let's say +2 d10 to bite +1 d6 to claw swipe. They don't have anything else. That's what they got. And then we're finished with the rabbit charger. I'm coloring these so that I can very easily just look and see where one monster starts and the other one begins. So just gonna put green here. And then gonna remove our characters thingy here. Actually, let's add the spaces back in. Let's not be dum-dum. And then we grab you. Boom. And the next one. Let's be smart here. So inventory. You have nothing. Proficiencies here have nothing. But the name is pre-colored green. So proficiencies here, let's not color you, but we're going to color the name because that is where everything starts. The next one is going to be a we're gonna call them Horde Grunts. They're a tier 1 monster. A deformed orly of a knives, clubs, and for hands. Uh, uh, all right. I'm gonna rip apart the Okay, that's dark. I got caught up a little bit there and wrote a dark as fuck monster here. Let's see. Go with 9. What do we give that guy? Give you 6. 4. 3. 3 and 6. Their inventory is instead boop-a-doo, and then we have two. Let's say 2d8. D10. And then they also have a poisoned bite. They have a little bit of an extra ability here. So I'm just gonna add the symbol before I forget. 40. There we go. D. We're not messing around with poison here. You need to be prepared. You need to have antidote. So the first one can give you between 1 and 10 unrefined material. The second one can give you between 2 and 16. It's a little bit stronger. It does more damage in its strikes on the, like, just on the get-go. Has more health, everything. Like a horde grunt. has horrible despite their seeming lack of functioning. There we go. And with that, I am going to end today's stream. Boom. And I will see you guys in the next video, next stream, next whenever. And remember to like the video. Loved the stream. It's been very chill. We'll see you guys. Bye.